Hello and welcome to StratoCast, a Battletech podcast, and today we're going to be looking at using OmniMech Lab to make a quad mech. My name's Stuart, StratoCast level 3, and we'll be having a look at OmniMech Lab, which is this great piece of software we've looked at the past few episodes, and we'll be looking at the idea of these quad mechs and what are quad mechs. What are a few quad mechs in the game? Right from the introduction, the much maligned Scorpion up to the very large Thunder Stallion, which is a huge quad mech. And basically quad mechs are mechs that walk on 4 legs instead of 2. They also have a couple of quite unique features. So we're going to go over to our OmniMech new mech construction. We're going to basically really go for it this one, and we're going to create a clan Hell's Horses medium OmniMech that is also a quad mech. And we're going to call the variant the Twilight, and we're going to call it at the Prime because it's going to be an OmniMech. This is going to be the Prime configuration, and we're going to set the year to being the current game year, which is 3152. We're going to really push the technology up, and we're going to put the technology up to advanced. Let's go up to experimental. Let's put it up to experimental, and we're going to set the tech base as clan. We might even have a look at making this clan mixed, so we could add some inner sphere technology. Let's do that. Let's make it mixed clan. So this way we can make it an OmniMech, but it can also mount some inner sphere weapons. So down here we've got chassis, base type. Again, we're keeping it standard. Quad V is something else. Quad V is a great other Hell's Horses invention. It's a quad mech that turns into a tank, turns into a vehicle. We might look at those in a later episode. Land air mech and industrial mechs. Industrial mechs are great because you can make things like the Cattle Master and combine mechs, things that came up a lot in the Dark Ages, where people would strap a rotary autocannon onto anything as long as it had 2 legs and could walk around, or 4. Motive type is the main one we're going to change here. We're going to change this to quad. There are tripod mechs as well. There's only one tripod standard mech in the game at the moment called the Triskelion, and then of course you've got the super heavy tripod mechs, which are another whole other category. But we're going to select quad mech. We're going to set tonnage to 50. And we're going to make it an OmniMech. So what different structures are we going to take? So let's have Ender Seal to start off with, clan Ender Steel. And we're going to go for, again, as we've got a standard cockpit there, we can have different cockpits there. Torso mounted cockpit is quite interesting. And we're going to go for a standard gyro at the moment. We might come back and change those. Enhancements. Let's go for mask. We want this thing to be able to run quite fast. So let's set our movement. You're going to set this to be a 5, 8. And we're also going to give it jump jets, because you can give a quad mech jump jets. So this thing's going to be able to fly as well. We're going to of course give it clan double heat sinks. Notice there we've got laser heat sinks as well, which are an interesting technology on the advanced tech. And that's our basic layout. So we've got quad mech, we've got our engine rating here. Engine's 12.5 tons. So our engine rating is going to be 5 times 50. That's going to be a 250 engine, which is good because you get 10 free heat sinks. We don't have to place any heat sinks on here. And we want something that's going to be a fast skirmishing and cavalry mech. So let's have a look at what equipment we're going to go for. We're going to go a lot for some ballistic here, and really want a couple of let's go for LB10Xs. Yeah, one LB10X, that'll be good. LB10X, it's a nice skirmishing autocannon. For energy, we're going to pop in a couple of large pulse lasers, or let's make this a, rather than large pulse lasers, let's make this very, very heavy hitting mech. So we're going to go for heavy, let's go for some heavy large lasers. So a heavy large laser. This thing generates an awful lot of heat. Heat 18, damage 16. Don't want to. That would be crazy for this tonnage. And for up close work, then let's also go for, let's go for an anti-missile system. So going to go to other. We're going to have a clan anti-missile system. There is a laser anti-missile system as well. We're just going to go for the anti-missile system here. We need ammo for that. And we need ammo for the AC-10. I'm going to load in 1 ton of each, so you can select between the two, and the anti-missile system ammo. Now, interestingly, you might notice that we've got a problem with the criticals here. It's saying that we've only got 66 criticals. The reason why is because, unlike arms that get the lower table on the arms, legs don't get a lower table, which means that the legs have to have all of their let's put this another way. So legs have a hip, an upper leg actuator, a lower leg actuator, and a foot, and then they have 2 empty slots. And so because this has 4 legs, it means it only has that many slots, and most of the slots are going to be into the torso. So that means it's going to make it a lot more tricky to put things onto. So it's one of the disadvantages of a quad mech, is you lose some of those arm areas to store things in. So that's our basic weapons loadout, although we might not be able to fit this all in, so I'm going to have a look at ways in which we can save some space. We also want to add something quite unique, and I think this is an advanced tech to these. We're going to add a turret. So I'm going to go to other. I'm going to add a quad mech turret. So Battle Mech Turret Quad. So quad mechs can mount, this is in tactical operations, advanced units and equipment, and like a vehicle turret, we have to add things into the turret, and then that will determine the amount of space in the turret. So let's go back to the assign criticals, because we have to see how long we're going to fit. Oh, the reason why we've got so many criticals is we haven't assigned down here the number of base heat sinks in the chassis, in the OmniMech chassis. So we're going to assign 10. So we've got loads of criticals left now. We've got 56 out of 66, 59 out of 66 left. So you have to make sure when it's an OmniMech that you assign which ones are going to be on the base Omni frame. Remember, the base Omni frame can't be changed, whereas the pod space can be changed. So we're going to go back to equipment, and we are going to assign criticals, and we're going to put the Battle Mech turret first onto the left torso. And we're going to put the jump jets into the legs. So I was actually wrong about the, not wrong, sorry, I was right about the right legs there. You say the front left leg instead of left arm only has 2 places there for jump jets to go into. or for any criticals to go into. So we're going to put one in each leg basically. There we go. So these at the moment are in pod space, so they could actually be taken off. It's saying IS at the moment. I think it's because they're... I don't know why it says IS. Maybe the inner sphere jump jets. I'm going to go for the heavy large laser. And I'm going to put this into the left torso. And we're going to put the LB10X into the torso as well. And the reason why is because we're going to put them into the turret. And the ammo here. And I'm just going to go back to the equipment and check the ammo. I think I put the wrong LB10X. I want the clan LB10X. There we go, clan LB10X. So we've got clan LB10X. So let's load the clan LB10X into the left torso. And we're going to put the mask system into the right torso. We've got plenty of space there at the moment. And we're going to put the anti-missile system also into the right torso. And let's put the ammo here. So we've got one set of each ammo. We're going to make this cased because it's a clan mech, so it's automatically cased. Now we want to actually put these into the turret. So what we need to do with this is we need to go to mount. So you kind of, once you've placed them in the correct location, you right click and do mount objects, and mount heavy large laser in turret. And mount LB10X in turret. Now that's quite important because when we go to the equipment now, the turret, which is here, is now showing as a tonnage of 1.5 because it's a fraction of the heavy large laser and the LB10X 1/10 rounded up, so 1.5 rounded up to the closest 0.5. So that's our equipment. We've got still got quite a few criticals left there. So let's have a look at some inner sphere equipment we can add to this. Well, I think we can add maybe some heat effects on this. So let's get a plasma cannon. Or plasma rifle, because the plasma rifle is in the sphere. So we go for the plasma rifle. And it's not going to be on the turret, the plasma rifle. The plasma rifle is just going to go into the right torso. And what else can we add? So we're at 50.5 tons. And at the moment we haven't actually put in any armour. So we're actually not at all making a viable mech at the moment. So what we're going to do is, I think we'll ditch the heavy large laser. I think that's probably too much. Let's put the plasma rifle into the turret. There we go. So let's put some armour on. We've got enough for Clan Ferrofibrous because that takes 7 criticals. And At the moment we've only got 3 tons, so we're definitely going to have to make some savings here. One of the big savings, of course, we could do is to make the engine an XL engine. We've got the criticals to do that. If we put the ammunition somewhere else, let's put the ammunition into the right torso. So if we put the LB10X ammunition into the right torso, and then put the LB, sorry, coughing there, put the LB10X here, and the turret here, and then we can still, that's still loaded into the turret. I'll just move these around. So we've got a plasma rifle, an LB10X in the turret. We've got an anti-missile system and our XL engine, and that gives us, now we're slightly over critical space. So on the critical space here, we've got the mask here, we still haven't got space for the mask, so we need to make a bit more space. So what we can do is we can go to the cockpit here, we can make that a small cockpit, or we could go to the gyro and make that a compact gyro. So a compact gyro means it's going to weigh slightly more, but it's going to reduce the criticals that the gyro has. So we've now got space to put the mask into the central torso. So we're almost at the end there. So we've got 49.5 tons, 7.5 tons of clan ferrofibrous. Auto allocate that, and you can see I got the arms and the legs here have all got 18, 15 on the left torsos, 19 on the centre torso. So I'm actually going to drop that down, make it even across, and take a, there we go, that should be fine actually. So what can a quad mech do that a regular bipedal mech can't? Well, a couple of different rules. One is a standard rule, which is that quad mechs can do something called a sidestep, which means that they can move sidewards for a cost of 1 movement, rather than having to turn and walk and turn back again. The other rules are mainly advanced rules, although there are some other rules that are standard rules. One of the rules is they can go prone with no movement penalty cost, I think, and also they get a -1 to piloting skill rolls to stand up. They're more stable. In the advanced rules in TAC Ops, they're able to do something called hull down, which is much like vehicles, where they can crouch down behind hills or in fortified positions, and that makes them able to get extra defensive modifiers. So we've got our armour correctly allocated there because we're not invalid. We've got our heat profile, 18 heat out of 20 heat sinks, and we've got our equipment here, LB10X, and a Inosphere plasma rifle. Other interesting things you could add to this, we're out of space, but things that would be quite interesting for equipment. Go to the other, are the anti-infantry pods, so A pods and B pods, which are quite good. So anti-personnel pods, and then you've got battle armor pods as well, which can explode and kill infantry that try and board you. That's a quite common one on this. Lots of different ideas there. You've got battle mech turret quad here, it's what we've taken. But we've elected for a kind of quite fast, quite manoeuvrable skirmishing mech that's able to go in and heat things up with its inner sphere plasma rifle, which makes it mixed technology. And as you can see, of course, going back to that, we've got slight restrictions because we don't have the lower arm critical slots. We just have a front right leg instead, so we only have 2 critical slots. So it does give them a slight disadvantage in that regard. But the great thing with the turrets, which again are in advanced rules, is the turrets enable them to effectively fire in any direction for the items that are in the turrets. And you can only mount 1 turret. As far as I'm aware, I don't think you can mount 2 turrets. I don't think it'll let me mount another turret. Let's just check that. Oh, apparently you can. So you could mount a turret in. You could mount a turret in each torso. But we've mounted everything in 1 turret here, and then that turret does cost extra tonnage, but it does give you the 360 degree fire arc. So since both weapon systems are in there, that makes it quite effective. So not an optimized build by any means, but a good example of showing you how to build a quad mech. So to recap, motive type quad, okay, is what you needed to select, and you have, of course, 4 legs instead of 2 legs and 2 arms, which affects the critical slots. That's the end of that. So hopefully you'll enjoy some quad mechs. There are some really good examples of quad mechs in the game. They can make very effective fire platforms. I think the Thunder Stallion is really dangerous. That's one of the ones with the Ultra AC-20 on a turret. And yet some of them have got a really bad reputation, like the Inner Sphere Scorpion, which doesn't see a lot of gameplay, but yet is quite maneuverable. And particularly, it can be quite handy having that sidestep movement. Until next time, I'll see you then.